Simeon. I'm in Philadelphia right now. Down here I'm on Penn's Landing, down by South Street. You know what I'm saying? Traveling, I'm on my way to New York right now. Watch the game, and another disappointing loss. You know what I'm saying? First half, I thought the Knicks I thought they had a chance. We looked good. I like what I saw from Tim Hardaway Jr. But in the end, same story. You know what I'm saying? I know the lighting and everything looks a little bit crazy, but you know, I'm outside. Hopefully you guys can hear me well. Let me know if you can hear me good enough. You know what I'm saying? I'm here in Philly, and I just want to get on and talk about the game. You know what I'm saying? If you guys never been to Penn Landing, if you've never been to South Street in Philly, you need to come on down to South Street in Philly. It's a nice place, nice area for you to go out, party a little bit, have a good time. You know what I'm saying? Overlooking the 76ers, whatever they got over here. You know, I might even come up when the Knicks play the 76ers and just, you know, just to be here and heckle the 76ers fans, you know. But back to the game. Well, here we go. Just give you guys a look. This is Penn Landing right here. I'm gonna turn around so you guys can check out Penn Landing. I'm gonna make sure I stay away close from the screen. All right, definitely, sir. We representing New York out here. You know what I'm saying? Penn Landing right there, people. See, we're on South Street, Penn Landing. See the city of Philly right here. Yeah. Of course, definitely. Enjoying the night. New York, we out here. But anyway, did Frank play well? You know what? Let me pull up the stats and see what Frank did tonight. But overall, I was disappointed again at the ending of the game, the way we finished the fourth quarter. And it's a recurring theme. It's a recurring theme with us. Now, the game could be different when Tim Hardaway is fully back. Overpassing, a lot of turnovers in the end. You know, he said, shout me out. I told my girl, you're a Knicks celebrity. Hey, Kenneth Lane, what's poppin', my brother? You know what I'm saying? Tell your girl, I'm not a celebrity. I'm a Knicks fan. I'm a diehard Knicks fan. Love popping it up and chopping it up with my Knicks fans. You know what I mean? He said we're a lottery team. Yeah, and that's okay. If we're a lottery team, that's okay, right? For sure. If we're a lottery team, that's okay. That's cool. But the thing is that we're in so many of these games, and I guess this is what lottery teams do, right? This is what lottery teams do. But we're in these type of games. We're there. We're just missing some ingredient to be able to pull these things out. I don't know if it's coaching, Hornacek with some of his lineups. I don't know if it's that we don't have the guys that can pull it out in the end. Like maybe KP's not fully ready yet. Michael Beasley can do it, but then we get into so much isolation that it hurts it and it stagnates us. Adjustments, adjustments is definitely a big part of it. I think one of the key ingredients that we miss, and Jeff Hornacek actually touched on this, one of the key ingredients that we miss is the grit and the toughness. You know what I'm saying? Rudy Tay, you say we're just a bad team. You could be right. Maybe we're just a bad team. But one thing that I know that we miss is that grit, that toughness. When we come down the stretch, we're not. We don't have the physicality, and Jeff Hornacek touched on that. We don't have the physicality to deal with the type of defense that teams are throwing at us. And that's going to hurt us. I think that'll hurt us. That's going to hurt us throughout the season. And if we somehow find a way to slip into the playoffs, it'll be an easy out for some team, because right now we're unable to play that physical type of game. We're unable to play that physical type of nature. I watched at the end of the game, even though it was a blowout. KP had a fast break going in for a dunk. He kind of went in a little bit lazy. Who comes out of nowhere? Jimmy Butler comes out of nowhere and strips him. But that's the kind of energy, that's the kind of grittiness, aggressiveness. That's the kind of hunger that we need. Tom Thibodeau, he's got those guys playing with that kind of hunger. We don't play with that kind of hunger. I'm sure, and I don't know if it's something that you can develop. I don't know if you can develop that kind of hunger. That kind of hunger comes from, for some people, man, you're born with that kind of hunger. You're born with that killer instinct. You're born with that grit. You're born with that gut that says, we got to go get it. And I don't see it with these guys right now. I'm not seeing it. Now, I see a lot of people getting on Frank, and let me pull up the stats. I know Frank didn't play, he didn't really have a great game. Tony Crow, what's poppin', my brother? You said we let games get out of hand so quick. We need to show that we are at least learning from these games. We need a player like Butler. Hardaway might have it though. You know, Hardaway came in and played well. He was aggressive. And you can see the difference with Hardaway in the game. You see the game was a little bit more up-tempo. We shot more threes. He was a little, you know, he was aggressive. And that's a good thing. You know, we need Tim Hardaway to do that for us, because we need someone to do it for us, because right now we don't have anybody doing it, you know. So let's look at what the stat lines were tonight. You know, we all kind of expected this though. I'm sure we didn't expect the Knicks to pull this game out. In the first half though, I was a little bit excited. But we didn't expect these guys to pull this game out. Not with the way Minnesota is playing defense. Not with the way that we're playing offense right now. We have some chemistry on some possessions, but we're lacking the chemistry. We're letting the season slip right now. We're not totally out of it, but we're letting the season slip and we're letting it get away. We're dead last in three-point. Let me see what that said there. You said, Rudy Tay, you said we're dead last in three-point. What's DEF? Oh, three-point defense. And at the bottom in 3 points made. Yeah, and it's been like that for a little while. We're last. That's a bad stat, because we need to be able to shoot and make these threes. We're not pulling threes at the rate that some of these other teams are pulling threes. We need to be able to, we need to use that three-point line as a weapon. Open up the floor. You know, make teams afraid of it. Hopefully with Hardaway back, we get back to pulling that three and make the three ball a threat for us. Free throws attempted too. You know, I need to check that. I need to check that. I'm not, Brian, I'm not sure exactly what we are with free throws attempted, but you might be on to something as well. And part of that is because we're not aggressively going to the basket. It all kind of works together. You know, if you're aggressively going to the basket, you'll open up the three-point line. If you shoot threes, you'll open up lanes to the basket. And if you're going to the basket, then you'll probably get to the free throw line. So it works together, it works in sync. And we're not doing those things right now. We're not doing those things. You know, we've been hollering, I've been hollering for the team to start Beasley at that three spot, because I believe it can help, especially when Tim Hardaway was out. I believe that it can help ease the pressure off of KP a little bit. But Jeff Hornacek likes to bring Beasley off the bench for that firepower off the bench. Now we're reading reports that because Tim Hardaway is back, Beasley could possibly lose some playing time, which I think it'll be a mistake. I think it'll be a mistake. Right now, Beasley is kind of a spark for us, although we don't want Beasley to be a ball dominant ISO guy. As long as we keep him under wraps, we're good. As long as we keep him under wraps and we keep Beasley under control, we're good. And I think we can. Thomas, I'm in agreement. For a long while, I wanted to support Lance Thomas. I really did. I wanted Lance Thomas to do well because he works hard. He's a stand-up guy. And I wanted Lance Thomas to succeed. But the problem is, yeah, he provides a lot defensively, but offensively, man, he really kills us every game. He's not able to spread the floor or stretch the floor out by hitting the three. Yes, he plays defense, but he doesn't play defense to the point where he is shutting down other threes. So I'm definitely in support of bringing Lance Thomas off the bench, or not even giving him that much burn at all at this point. He's, keep him as an insurance policy at this point. Let Beasley, let Dougie Fresh get in there and get some burn. And then, that'll solve your dilemma about Beasley in playing time and those type of things. Now, if they're already talking about Michael Beasley losing some playing time because Tim Hardaway is back, what's going to happen when if Trey Burke gets called up? And we should find out sometime this weekend if that's going to happen. If it's going to happen, they're going to do it before Wednesday. So, we should be paying attention to that, see what's popping there. You said Lance got suspect ball handling. That's the truth. Ball handling is a little bit suspect. He's not a lockdown defender. He's taking minutes away from Beasley and McDermott. He's a good defender. He's a hard worker, but I agree. He's not locked down. It's not like he's shutting people down out the box that you're going to say, Lance, take the best player. You know what I'm saying? So I'm with you. Brian, you said Knicks might as well bring Trey Burke up. Should try anything at this point. I think they do want to bring up Trey Burke, and I think they're going to bring up Trey Burke. I think that it's going to take, I guess they're looking for a trade, trying to find a way to open up a roster spot without waiving Raymond Sessions. I think I guess they're probably guessing that it's financially in their interest to be able to trade him instead of waive him. Not only is it in the Knicks' interest, but it's in Raymond Sessions' interest, and they probably want to try to do right by their guy, because if you waive him, you just gave him a bunch of money for doing nothing. You're going to give him a little bit less money, but then Raymond Sessions is going to get less money. So they're probably trying to find a way to work it out so it's good for everybody. Which is that's good business to me. You know what I'm saying? You work it out so that it's good for everybody, and that way your reputation is good. Scott Perry wants to keep a good reputation with agents. He wants to keep a good reputation with players. That's how you do it. You try to find a good deal. Then if it doesn't work, you go ahead and waive him and see what Trey Burke can do. You know what I'm saying? I think that I don't think that, and I'm just rambling, guys. I was, I'm here in Philly, so I didn't really get a chance to really mark out some things that I want to talk about. But I wanted to get on because we Knicks fans. That's what we do. So I'm just kind of rambling and going off you guys. All right. You know what I mean? So don't hold it against me. I just wanted to, make sure I check in with you guys when I'm supposed to. Yeah, he said, don't get mugged out here. I feel you. I'm in a nice lit spot. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good. I got a lot of friends, not a lot of friends, but I got friends in Philly, some people in Philly. They don't know I'm here right now. You know what I'm saying? I can always give him a call if I really need to. But I think I'm straight though. Thank you for worrying about me though, because I appreciate it. Well, let me see if I can pull up what we look like tonight. Frank is really fast with his hands and feet. If he can, a little more confident, he can make a big change. You know, I think Frank is going to be okay, guys. He's a rookie. He's 19 years old. He's got a lot to learn. I don't think that, I mean, he's proven that he can play in the NBA. He's 19 years old. He's a rookie. I don't know if you send him to the G League. I don't know how much that's going to help him. You know, what's it going to help him do if you send him to the G League? Yeah, he'll get a chance to start and run the team, I guess. You know, I'll say this. I wouldn't mind sending Frank to the G League. Like, let's say the Knicks play on Wednesday and the Westchester Knicks play on Tuesday. Send him to the G League. Let him play for the Westchester Knicks on Tuesday night and then bring him back up on Wednesday. I won't mind seeing him do something like that. I wouldn't mind that. You know, that's cool. But I wouldn't totally take him away from the team. I let him play. Let him play. Let him learn. And let him learn on the NBA level. Let him learn on, you know, the highest level of basketball there is. Because he's proven that he can play on this level. We can't expect Frank to have a killer night every night. We can't expect that Frank is going to pick up everything. Like one night we see him and he's penetrating to the basket. He's making shots, you know, finding people, running the offense. You can't expect that it's going to be like that every single night because he's a rookie and he's going to be up and down. He's going to be, now, this would be my concern. If Frank couldn't handle it defensively, if Frank he couldn't even get up a shot, he couldn't handle the ball against the pressure, I'd say, you know what, okay, it's not for him. But I don't see that with him. He can handle the ball against pressure. He's not getting the ball taken away from him. He can play defense. He can defend players in the league. He can get open shots. He may not be knocking them down as we would like. He doesn't penetrate to the basket as we would like. And that's something that I'm hoping Trey Burke can help him with. If Trey Burke does come up, get called up, I'm hoping that Trey Burke will be able to help Frank learn how to penetrate, when to penetrate, have more of an aggressive mindset, especially if they get out and start running together. I think that could be dangerous. If you have Frank, Trey Burke, Tim Hardaway Jr. out on the break together, that could be something to look out for. I was on a podcast, and you guys can check out the podcast. It's actually on SoundCloud right now. It's called The French Knicks Podcast. Of course, it's in French. Now, when I was on, they spoke in English. And I spoke in English, of course. But they're in love with Frank, obviously. And they're big Knicks fans. He said they have a whole group of people that gather in a bar and watch Knicks games when it's on. The Knicks games come on early in the morning over there. But he said, you know, when the Knicks play in the afternoon, he might check in on the chat, check in so he can speak to you guys a little bit. I told him, you know, let's Skype in, let's get it popping and see what happens. But like I was explaining to him on the podcast, and I'm going to put a link to that podcast in the description so you guys can check it out. But like I was explaining to him on the podcast, he didn't like Trey Burke coming up because he thought it was going to impact Frank's playing time. I told him I don't think he should worry about it because Frank defensively is solid and he's probably the best. He's definitely the best defensive point guard we have and one of the best defenders on the team. So he's going to play because he plays defense. You know what I'm saying? And I told him, you know, with Trey Burke, right now with Jared Jack, he's learning how to run in offense, but Jared Jack plays slower. So Frank, of course, if Jared Jack is his mentor, then Frank is following his mentor. You get someone like Trey Burke who runs, pushes the tempo. I think Frank could fall in line, push the tempo with him, move with him, get up the floor with him. And I'm imagining Trey Burke, Frank, Tim Hardaway, KP pushing the tempo, running up and down the floor if Trey Burke is pushing the tempo. It's something that I see that could happen. I'd like to see it happen, and I really think that Frank, like I said on the podcast, if Frank starts to push the ball because he has really good floor vision, if Frank starts to push the ball up the floor, I think we'll see Frank do some things that we'll be really surprised about. We'll see. You know, we'll see if that happens. And I think you'll see some more things open up for Frank because Trey Burke can penetrate. Not only Frank, but Dougie Fresh, Tim Hardaway Jr., KP, because Trey Burke can penetrate, kick that thing out to the three-point line. So let's see. I believe they do. I believe the G League Knicks play the same offense. It would only make sense. Sounds good, right, Deacons? It sounds good. We got to see, can it really happen, though? We got to see, can it really happen? You know, you say, give him the keys to the second half. He, like anyone else, will find his groove. Let me run that back. He, like anyone else, will find his groove, but accountability, leadership has forsaken our franchise since forever. Give him the keys to the second half. I agree. You know, give that man the keys and let him go. Let him run, let him play, and, you know, see if he can, see what he can do. I think that's the only thing you can do with Frank. You got to see what he can do. And if you have, excuse me, if you have Trey Burke, if you have Jared Jack, then you know you got some guys that can back him up in the event he can't do it. You know what you got. But you got to get a guy a chance to run. Because I really do think if he starts, we're going to see a different Frank. Yup, let him make his turnovers. Let him, you know, let him make his mistakes. Teach him, pull him to the side, talk about what he should have done. Go over the film with him, talk about what he should have done. And let's see how he grows. Because you know you got an insurance policy behind him. You know you got an insurance policy behind him. You might as well let that man go, let him play, and let him play through his mistakes. You know, every rookie in the league had a chance to play through their, not every rookie, everyone who's been able to become a player in the league had their chance to make their mistakes. You gotta let Frank have a chance to make his mistakes. You know, let Frank have a chance to make his mistakes and see what happens to him. You know, for those who are just logging in, again, I'm in Philadelphia. I'm out here I'm on Penn's Landing, I'm on South Street. Right? You can check out what's going on out here. We're in Philadelphia. A couple of people walking by, I didn't see anyone look like they were basketball fans. I was gonna check them out, see what they think about the Knicks, Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? But that's my daughter right there. You know, but here we are, Philadelphia. Beautiful city, beautiful area. I like Philadelphia a whole lot. He said, I bet you $1 they don't call up Trey Burke. We right now, why you say that? Nah, it's nice out, Marty. It's about 65 degrees out here. It feels good. So why don't you think they're gonna call up Trey Burke? I mean, I think it seemed like they were working out something. You know, we'll see what happens with it. I think that he wants to be in New York, especially since he's been working, you know, he's been working in the system a little bit. I think he wants to be in New York. You know, but you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with Trey Burke. But you know, we are now 4 games below 500. That's the worst we've been this season. And I'm not sure. Hopefully, I mean, you look at, what is it, 12 of the next 15 games on the road. We're in that stretch. And if we don't make it through that stretch, we're in trouble. I think by the end of this month, if we don't, if we're not looking good at the end of this month, you know, we're not staying, we don't bring it back and get it to close to 500. We lose a lot of ground. We go 7, 8 games below 500. Franco had the keys. You know, he'll have the keys, and you know, we'll probably see some moves at the deadline. And I'm not saying that they'll be tanking, but they'll probably. Now she's not bored, man. She's good. They'll probably, you know, go with the young guys. Of course, have the young guys try to win, but go with the young guys and use the older guys as insurance. You know, I want to ask you guys about a couple of things, though. We hear that Detroit is looking to possibly trade Stanley Johnson. I'm not sure about Stanley Johnson, but what do you guys think? Is that somebody that you think we should go for? Frank for Stanley? No. I'm not with that one. Not with that one at all. Do you think that we should make a move for Stanley Johnson? And if so, for who? You say no to Stanley. You know, I'm not sure with it, because when I look at Stanley Johnson, I think this year he's averaging like 6 points a game, playing 27 minutes a game. He's only 21. He's shooting like 38, 39% from the field. About the same, a little bit lower from 3. It sounds like we're getting a younger Lance Thomas to me if we get Stanley Johnson. Of course, then he has more upside because he's only 21 years old. He's a good defender. He would fit into that 3 slot, but I don't think he would come in and start. You know, you say a change of scenery would benefit him. Maybe so, maybe. Stanley is way better than Lance. He might be. He should be on his rookie salary. I don't remember exactly. See, I wish I had my stuff in front of me where I could really look things up. But I'm not sure exactly what he makes right now. You know what I mean? But if he's on his rookie salary, he's probably, I don't remember where he was drafted. I think it was like, it was in the teens. He's probably making $2 to $3 million a year or something like that. You know, he could, now he's not getting paid much. He's not getting paid much right now because he's still on his rookie salary. So he's definitely someone that we could afford. You know, is he worth it? And then who do you trade? Oh, Quinn in the 2nd round pick. Is he, I mean, do we even have to, he makes $2.8 million. Do we even have to give up that much? Oh, Quinn in the 2nd round pick. Is he worth O'Quinn in the 2nd round pick? I guess maybe because of his youth. Tobias Harris is exactly who we need. You're right. You're right. My daughter really likes Tobias Harris because he looks like J. Cole, but you know, well, she say he looks like J. Cole. You know, so she's in love with J. Cole, so now she's in love with Tobias Harris. You know what I'm saying?
That's not true. That's not true.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
No.
But I mean, it's obviously a super long shot about that we get Tobias Harris. You know, but is Stanley Johnson, is he worth it? That, you know, we twins, yeah, we hear that all the time. We hear it all the time. But you know, that's what I'm wondering, is Stanley Johnson worth it? You know, maybe not. He can play defense, yep. You said, nah, Tobias don't look like Cole. Yeah, she said, yeah, he do. But so you know, we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, J. Cole. Tony Crow. She pointed right to what you said. J. Cole is dope. She pointed right to it. First thing she seen. You said, not gonna lie, I do not see them a top tier at the start of the season. New York Knicks outperformed most of expectations at the gate. They have come back down to reality, but we can get rid of Noah's contract. Nah, we can't really get rid of Noah's contract right now. Nobody wants him. You know, he's not playing and he's getting $17 million a year. The only thing that we'll be able to do for Noah is that his contract expire. If we did want to get rid of Noah, we'd have to give up a first-round pick, and I don't think that's worth it. You know, yeah, exactly. No one's taking that contract, and I don't think it's worth it to give up a first-round pick, you know, just to get rid of Noah. You might as well just, you know, we need those first-round picks because we need to stay young so that we can have some first-round players come in, play well, and then their contract is really a value. You know, I mean, think about KP. He's making, what is he making? $5 million this year or something like that. He's a value. And that's what you get when you get rookies and young players. You get value because they come in and they can perform if they're at that level, and you don't have to pay them a lot of money. So we don't want to give up a first-round pick just to move Noah. So I think Noah's going to be here for a while until his contract expires in 2020. You know. Yeah, Cat can play. Cat can definitely play. You know, I seen someone mention Kemba Walker. We talked about Kemba Walker. The last show. And Kemba Walker, I'm not going to lie, he would be a nice fit with KP. He can get to the basket. He can do some of the things that we need him to do. But, you know, you got to look at Kemba Walker's making $12 million this year, $12 million next year. Then he's going to be a free agent, and he's going to want to get paid. And then once it's time for him to get paid, do we have enough money to fill in around Kemba Walker and KP and Tim Hardaway? You know, you're going to need enough money to fill in around them as well as pay KP in 2020. What we're trying to do is build with young players that have valuable, that can afford us valuable contracts. Kemba Walker is definitely a nice player. He would definitely fit into what we're trying to do. But, you know, sorry about that, guys. We got cut off, but I'm back. But like I was saying about Kemba Walker, we always got that asterisk about trading for him because, you know, his contract, and then of course his now I'm back, people. I'm back. But we always got that asterisk because of his age, and his age is going to rush our timeline. It's going to push our timeline up. You know what I'm saying? His age is going to force us to have to put players around him before I think we're ready. So it was nothing against Kemba Walker. I really like Kemba Walker. I really like the way he plays. I do. I like his aggressiveness, his toughness. But I think that it's just the wrong timeline. You know what I mean? I think it's just the wrong timeline with Kemba Walker right now. If we were a team that was, you know, we knew we were going to win 45 games this year, then we say, okay, let's get Kemba Walker because he can push us up to that 50, 55 game mark maybe. 50 game mark maybe. But we're not there right now, and we don't have any money to put the pieces around Kemba Walker, KP, and them guys right now, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I think that it's going to be a few years before we got that kind of money. We're talking 2020 till we got that kind of money. You know, so I think that's where we are with Kemba Walker. Unless the only thing I will say is if we can get Kemba Walker we can get Kemba Walker for a deal, for a steal, kind of. Let me say that. We can get Kemba Walker for a steal, which we won't, obviously. But if we could get Kemba Walker for a steal, then it's obviously worth it. you know, we don't have to give up any real young pieces in any first-round draft picks, then hey. But, you know, that's probably not going to happen. Charlotte would really want something for Kemba Walker. So I think Kemba Walker's a long shot for us. You know what I mean? I really think he's a long shot for us. We right now, you say, as long as James Dolan is the president, there will be silly decisions made. Well, I mean, James Dolan's not the president. He's the owner. He's the, well, let's put it like this. He owns majority of the shares of the Knicks. And if you guys ever want to know, I can let you know how you can own some of the New York Knicks. You should know the Knicks are a publicly traded company. Well, Madison Square Garden is a publicly traded company. You can buy some stock. Go buy some stock. It's a good idea, right? It's a really good idea for you to go buy some stock and you watch the Knicks, you buy jerseys, you buy hats, you buy tickets to the games. You do all those things that support the Knicks, that pay the players. You might as well get something in return. Buy some stock. That way, when you buy jerseys, when you buy tickets, when you go to Madison Square Garden and you buy and you pay for all that food, you are reinvesting in yourself. All right, that's just a little tidbit. Reinvest in yourself. It's a team we all love. You go buy some stock, reinvest in yourself. Trust me, it'll be worth it. And yeah, I do own some stock in the Knicks. As a matter of fact, I bought stock in the Knicks way back in 2010. It was about $18 a share at the time. Right? $18 a share at the time. The stock split into two. So now there's the Sports Madison Square Garden, and then there is the cable network of Madison Square Garden. The stock that I bought that was worth $18 split into two. One of them is now worth $20. The other one is worth over $200 per share. Okay? It is a good idea because the Knicks, you guys see it all the time, right? The Knicks are always number one, number two in Forbes magazine. They may not be winning, but they're more than a billion, however many $1 billion organization. And they're going to continue to rise because they're the Knicks and they're in New York. They are, you know, of course you got your hardcore fans like us, but then you also have your casual fans that come to New York and they just want to have a night out on the town, so they go to the Knicks game. You know, the Knicks is something to do to the casual fan. So the Knicks stock is always going to be good. You know what I mean? Invest. I promise you, it'll work out for you in the future. Invest, even if you have to do, I don't care if you got to do $20 a month. Invest in the Knicks, buy some stock, and in the future, you'll see the return on it. You know, not only does Madison Square Garden is the overall company, but not only do they own the Knicks, but they own the Liberty, they own the Rangers, they own other stadiums in LA and things like that. I'm gonna do a video. I'm gonna do a 5 to 10 minute video about how you can become an owner of the Knicks. Now, of course, you're not gonna have decision-making power because James Dolan owns the controlling share, the controlling interest of the stock in the Knicks, you know, but you will be able to profit off of the money that you already put out to the Knicks. All right, so that's a smart move. So I will do a video on how to become an owner of the Knicks and own some stock. Not only can you own the Knicks, but you can also own some of the cable company, you know, which right now it's good. You know, it's up, it's rising, it's up, but with the way streaming services are, you know, who knows what's going to happen there. But I'm going to do a video about it and talk about how you can own some of the Knicks. All right, so I think that'll be something that'll be useful for all of us. Yeah, so if you guys like that, if you guys, you know, let me know, you know, how you feel about that, and I'll definitely put you onto it. Definitely, I will. All right, and you can look up. You can go to if you go on. You can just go into Google and type in MSG, Madison Square Garden stock, or MSG, or go on Twitter and $MSG, and you'll be able to see what the stock is worth right now, what it's actually worth right now. And I think it's somewhere around $220 per share. You know what I mean? And that's expensive, but that doesn't mean that you have to give out $220 right now if you don't have $220. You can buy portions of one share, so you can put in $10, $20 monthly or whatever, and just let it go in there and keep letting it go in there and keep letting it go in there, and you know, pretty soon it'll rise for you. So I'm gonna do a video about that. I'll try to maybe do it next week. $212. Yeah, $212, and you know, I feel good, man. I got in at $18 a share. So, you know, that's good. Of course, it's split into two. So when it's split into two, they gave me some portions of MSG Sports and some portion of MSG Cable, but both of them are still doing good. You know what I mean? But you know, that's something that we're gonna get into a little bit more. Talk about how we can become an owner of the Knicks. Yep. You said Hornacek was fired from the Suns for a reason. They gave him 2 chances. He sucks and he should be replaced by a coach. Well, we'll see what happens. You know, we'll see what happens with Hornacek. You know, I think that Scott Perry wanted to give Hornacek a try because I don't think he got a fair shake with Phil Jackson. I think that was kind of a raw deal. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say a raw deal, but he got brought in, you know, to run a triangle, and that's not what he does. You know, and he had Phil Jackson looking over his back, kind of stepping in, didn't really get a chance to run the team. So I think they wanted to give him the chance to run the team and see what he could do. In the beginning of the season, they were outperforming. Now, it's starting to, you know, the season's starting to dwindle a little bit. I don't know if we've lost the season yet, but it's starting to feel that way. I think that they might, if they can reclaim the season, I think that they might continue to, they'll keep Hornacek and see what he can do next year. If the season really starts to slip, then it's a question. Mark Jackson. Is he going to make Jack better? I don't know if he's going to make Jack better. I don't know how much better Jack can get, but I think he'll definitely make Frank better. You know, he's a point guard. They play the same style of game. I think that Frank Ntilikina, Mark Jackson will be great for Frank. Be great for Frank. Jeff Van Gundy. I would love to get Jeff Van Gundy. I think Jeff Van Gundy would be, he'd be good for the Knicks as well. I don't know how that would work with James Dolan, though, because I don't know how that relationship is. Yeah, my kids are Knicks fans. If they're not Knicks fans, I kick them out the house, so they don't have a choice. I kick them out the house and tell them to, you know, whoever they like, go stay with someone who, you know, likes them. We need a coach who the players will listen to. I think we need a coach that's going to be, look, Jeff Hornacek, I believe, has held the team accountable. I do think so. I think that's the way that where we are now, the amount that we have overachieved now, I think it's because he held them accountable. Is he still holding them accountable? That's my question. You know, because there are certain things that are happening on the floor that I'm not, where it's causing me to ask that question if he's still holding them accountable. Yeah, I see someone ask where in New York I'm from. I'm from upstate New York, man. Upstate New York. I kind of bounced around upstate New York, and I spent a lot of time in Brooklyn, spent a lot of time in the Bronx, but I'm originally from upstate New York, Albany, New York. I lived in Utica, New York. Yeah, but like I said, I spent a lot of time in Brooklyn, a lot of time in the Bronx, and now I'm in D.C. I'm saying I'm in D.C. now, but I'm actually on my way to Albany right now. So I stopped in stopped in Philly for a little bit. And once I'm through here, I'm getting back on the road so we can finish our trip to Albany. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping that, you know, the Martin Luther King game, maybe I'll be in the city during the Martin Luther King game or something like that. I'm not going to be at the game, but hopefully I'll be able to, you know, just stop through. I was thinking about going to Clyde's or something like that. Oh, Tony Crow, you in Utica now? Okay, that's what's up. Yeah. I lived in Utica for like 5-6 years. Yep, I lived in Cornhill. I lived in Adrian Terrace. Adrian Terrace is different then than it is now, I'm sure. You know what I'm saying? But I got a lot of friends in Utica still. You know, one of my closest friends actually lives right around the corner from me, and we grew up in Utica together. You know, and just so happened that his son was playing basketball at the same high school my daughter goes to, and we kind of linked up, and we hadn't seen each other in like 26 years. Now we're neighbors, so it's crazy, but yeah. What part of Utica do you live in, Tony? Now KP is stretch 4 for Jeff plays. Francis, you said now KP is a stretch 4. I mean, I think he's always been a stretch 4. I know a lot of people say that KP is going to end up being a center, but I don't think he wants to play center. I think KP wants to play the 4. And I don't think he'll play some center, but I don't think he's going to settle in and just be a center. You know what I mean? I think that KP he's naturally a 4. That's the position that he wants to play. Yeah, small world. You say you live the Hill, James Street. Okay. All right. Yeah. That's crazy. NASA is a hoax. It will be exposed before the Knicks win the first round of playoffs. Ain't funny. You said I sound more Harlem. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe that's the, you know, upstate New York, Albany has a lot of people from all over, a lot of people from Brooklyn and Albany, Bronx too, and Harlem. You know what I'm saying? SUNY Albany, a lot of people, they want to get away from the city when they go to college or whatever, and they go to SUNY Albany because it's still kind of close. You know, hour and a half, 2-hour bus ride away. You can catch the mega bus for $20 from downtown, from Times Square to SUNY Albany for like $20. So a lot of people from Brooklyn, Bronx, Harlem, and Albany. So, you know, a lot of different accents, and you know, when you're there, you kind of, whoever you hang with. Yeah, it is kind of a party school there. It definitely is. I went there. I know. I went to SUNY Albany. KP should get a deal with Charming. Oh man, you call him Charming soft. Hey, you're right. The Finnish kid, man, marketing, he's looking swole compared to KP. But let's give the one thing about that though, and 3 inches makes a difference. Marketing is 7 foot. KP is 7'3". So you know, KP's a little bit longer, stretched out a little bit more. Might take a little bit more time for him to build that kind of muscle tone because of his length. You know, yeah, there it is. Right now, we're gonna talk about it. I'm definitely gonna do a show on it. But you know, look, we at a critical point of the season, guys. The season is, I don't want to say it's slipped away, but it feels like it's slipping. I'm hoping now that Hardaway is back. I did like what I seen when Hardaway was in the game. We played a little bit more up tempo. The ball, you know, he let it loose from 3. We looked better when Hardaway was in the game. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to take a little bit of time to work him back in, and hopefully we'll get better and we'll look better. You know what I mean? With Hardaway being back. If we can find a way, we're 4 games below 500 right now. We play the Pelicans on Sunday. we took care of the Pelicans in New Orleans. I'm sure they're coming back with a vengeance. You know what I'm saying? They want to go to. They want to go to. They want to come to Madison Square Garden and take that win back. But if we can pull off a win against the Pelicans. We've seen the matchup well. We'll be 3 games below 500. Then we got some winnable games coming up. Exactly, Michael. We got some winnable games coming up. We can find a way. Tim Hardaway's back to take care of business in some of those games and pull a little bit closer to that 500 mark. And then when Tim Hardaway is at full strength, see if we can push something. See if we can make a run. I don't want to give up yet. We're getting close to that point. I'm not going to lie. We're getting close to that point, but I don't want to give up yet. We've got to take care of New Orleans the way we took care of them in New Orleans. Obviously, we've lost, our last 2 home games, right? We've lost our last 2 home games. Hopefully things aren't slipping at home like they did on the road. We're at home on Sunday. Yep, we're at home on Sunday. So hopefully we can get back to playing strong at home, and pull out a win against New Orleans. And then obviously I don't have the schedule up to look at, but then we really gonna hit the road and be on the road for a little bit. So that's where we're gonna have to man up. Yeah, they're definitely looking for redemption. And we have, honestly, the schedule is actually kind of easy coming up. We play Memphis, we play Utah. We can win these games. The scary thing is that they're on the road. We have Brooklyn, so they are winnable games. And if we can pull some of these games out, try to pull back the 500, give ourselves a chance to be there. Give ourselves a chance to be there. So I'm not giving up yet. It's hard not to, though, when you look at the way that we're playing lately. But Tim Hardaway gives me a little bit of hope from some of the things that I've seen tonight. He did look good. It was decent, at least. So it gives me a little bit of hope that we can start to pull it back together. And then if Trey Burke is called up and can give us a little bit of something, then, maybe we'll be looking better. Maybe we'll look good. I think Tim Hardaway, when I see Tim Hardaway and KP on the floor, it looked like KP was able to get some cleaner looks at the basket. He was able to, pull some quicker shots because people had to worry about Hardaway a little bit more because he came in aggressive. He wasn't afraid to be aggressive. Let's see what we do. Let's give it to the end of this month. We play Brooklyn, I think we play Brooklyn on the 31st of this month. Let's give it to the end of this month before we call in the season and see where we're at the end of this month. You say we ain't really tanking. We just ain't that good. I've been a Knicks fan since '87, so losing ain't nothing to me. I feel you, man. I get it. I know. Yeah, we definitely need more people to follow Nothing But Knicks, man, because, we get more people followed, the more things we're going to be able to do together and make this thing pop. But it's coming. You know what I'm saying? I'm patient. It's coming. Let's start Frank for 1 game, see what happens. I agree with you, Marty. I like to start him for a game, see what happens. See how we look. It can't hurt. If it doesn't look good, we can go back to doing what we were doing. But I agree. Let's start him and see what happens. We can come back on playoffs contention if we use KP properly. But put him in his sweet spots. And we need now to try Trey Burke. Yeah, we need to do a better job getting him in his sweet spots, like you said, but not in his sweet spots where he has to ISO. And that's what's been happening in the last few games. It's been ISO KP, ISO Beasley, The ball movement has been not lackadaisical, almost non-existent. We kind of went back to the ISO game. Jeff Hornacek touched on it. We've been trying to utilize and take advantage of mismatches, but it's been causing us to ISO. You know, and KP is at his best when he's not ISOing. KP is at his best when he's on his move, when he's on the move, in my opinion. KP is at his best, you know, when you catch him off the pick and pop and he can pull it quick. If you notice tonight, especially in that first quarter, in that first half, you know, KP catch the ball, turn around with a quick shot. He's in rhythm, it's smooth, and teams don't have time to defend it. He needs to do it more. You know, he needs to do it more. I agree, Raza, I agree. Frank and KP need to play minutes together. You know, if they're supposed to be the future, then they need to play minutes together. You know what I'm saying? We need to see what they look like. Because I think they have decent chemistry. I think that Frank is able to find him on that pick and pop relentlessly. He finds him. And KP is open, clearly open on that pick and pop, and he has nice, clean looks. I think Frank and KP need to work a little bit more together because that length on that screen and roll and that pick and pop is killer. You know, you got KP who's 7'3", and then you got Frank who's 6'5" with a 7'1" wingspan. That's killer on that screen, on them screen and rolls. You know what I'm saying? How y'all doing? You guys 76ers fans?
Yes.
All right. I'm a Knicks fan. I'm talking to my Knicks crew right here. All right, I just want to say what's up to my Knicks crew.
How you doing?
All right, have a good night. Messing around with some of these 76ers fans. You know what I'm saying? But I don't even know if my man was a Sixers fan. I think he was just talking garbage. You know, they drunk as a skunk right now. They don't know if they Sixers fans. They don't know if they 49ers fans. They don't know what kind of fans they are. George L., what's poppin', my bro? They just out here having a good time in Philly. I feel them, though. Vaughn, you said Timmy, Cantor, Bees, KP, Trey Burke is a squad. We'll see what happens if they pull that. That could be a squad, man, if they can make it work. But yeah, Tony Crow, Frank and KP, they should be deadly together. They need more time to work it out, though. You know, they need more time to work it out, Frank and KP, and I want to see them play together a lot more. I also want to see KP roll to the basket some instead of always picking and popping. I want to see him pick and actually roll to the basket. KP never rolls to the basket. I like to see some oop plays for KP. We don't do any of those things. You know what I'm saying? And I think that we got young guys on the team, right? And if we got young guys on the team, I think Hornacek needs to put some plays in. He needs to put some things in that's going to be fun for the guys. You know what I'm saying? It's fun that's going to just keep them alive, keep them up. Do some things that they're going to enjoy. Make the game fun for them. Because if we got the same old things that we do, the game can get boring. You know, we got some guys, Dougie Fresh, he can get up. You know, KP can. You know what I'm saying? Run some plays for them guys that's going to be fun. You know what I'm saying? Get these guys open to the basket. You know, do some things. If we do some things like that, you'll open up the offense more as well because, you know, guys will be anxious to just have fun out there. And right now we get really, really stagnant. We're not doing anything. If you look when we played Dallas, I don't know if it was the first play of the game. Maybe it was the first play of the game. They ran a play to try to get Dennis Smith Jr. an alley-oop. Right off jump. I think that's something that we need to do because we got guys that are young that way and they want to have fun. You know what I'm saying? They want to have fun. I think that's something that we need to do. Keep the guys interested. Run some plays that they're going to enjoy doing. Just some fun things out there, you know? When Hardaway was in the game, I saw glimpses of the Knicks from the beginning of the year. Once Hardaway eases back into the starting lineup, we'll be a much better team. I agree. Who was that? That was Cruz. I agree with you. I seen some flashes of what we did early in the year as well. Yep. Tony Crow, you said that's on point guard and coach. We should be Lob City in New York. We should. You know what I'm saying? You got KP is 7'3", man. And you know, he's not like leaping out the building, but he can jump. You know what I'm saying? We need to do some of those things. Need to do some of those things. So, you know, maybe Hornacek listen to the stream. I don't know if he has a Twitter or anything, but you know, let's send him the stream and say, hey, listen to this. Why don't you try this? Send him an email, something, tweet him something. You tweet it out to all the players. You know what I'm saying? Say, hey, listen, y'all need to do this. You know, let them bring it to coach, because you know we like to see it too. We got young guys. That's part of, you know, that's part of the phenomenon of having young players. You want to see them get up and down the floor. You want to see them do some of those fun things. When they get a little bit older, you understand that they can't do those same things, you know, and you get it. But you know, let's let the guys have some fun. You say Tim Hardaway kept going into the locker room after every play. I hope he's okay. Yeah, I hope so. I didn't peep that, but I hope so. Hope he's okay. You know, or maybe it's just precaution, or maybe he maybe he was going back so he could stay warm on a bike or something like that. You know what I mean? Tim Hardaway and KP, much PNR, so much because Tim Hardaway is the only threat on our guard for penetration that can pull up on a PNR. That's true, but I think Frank runs it really well. He's always I don't know who said it the other night, but Frank does enough to keep defenses honest. And because teams see and know that he's a good passer, and he can find people not just on the screen and roll, not just the roller or the popper, but he also finds guys cutting off the ball, you know, some things like that. So I think that he's definitely he's a threat. This guy Joe, thank you for the super chat, my brother. I appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. And I can guarantee you that super chat, that goes right towards the channel. Anything that ever comes in the super chat goes right towards the channel. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to grow the channel, make this channel pop, and we're always going to keep it for the fans. Always. So I appreciate you, this guy Joe. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? We are going to, and for that, man, I might have to get you a spot on the show, because that's the first one. That's the first super chat ever in Nothing But Knicks history. So I might have to get you on the show, give you a spot on the show, so you can shout out anything that you got going on. Feel me? You said, what is a super chat? Super chat is where you donate some money to the channel, and especially, let's say there was like 1,000 people on the channel right now, and it was going really, really fast. In the super chat, you donate something to the channel, and your comment is highlighted, so then I can shout out the comment. And all right, I'm back. I don't know what's going on. I'm in Philly. They don't want no Knicks streams going on in Philly, you know what I'm saying? So they keep cutting me off. I don't think they want any Knicks streams going on in Philly, so they cut me off, people. But, back to what the super chat does, it donates some money to the channel. And if you have like a lot of people on the stream, then yeah, that's probably it, Como. If there's a lot of people on the stream, then it highlights your comment. You know what I'm saying? So I can see your comment and stuff like that. So when people do the super chat, just let you know, if you ever do the super chat, and I'm not out here like trying to tell you guys, oh, do it. Do this, do that. But if you ever do, I appreciate it. And the money's going right into the channel. So, that's what it is. Yeah. That's what it is. So, But, you know, I just want you guys to know, though, I do this for the love of the Knicks, you know what I'm saying, because that's what it is. And I just want to create one of the best New York Knicks forums for Knicks fans. And, you know, the more we do this together, I got this going. And I'm always telling you guys that you can send in videos that you have, that, you know, if you do videos on the Knicks, or if you do beats, or, you know, artwork, things like that. I'm all about community and helping the community to grow. So you send those type of things in, I'll get it up on here. You know what I'm saying? And we can talk about it, so we can do this together, because if I grow, you guys grow, I grow, and we can all do some things together. So, you know, you know, that's how we working it. And that's why this is always going to be fan-centric. I promise you this, no matter how big it gets, it's always going to be about the fans. So let's, for example, my plans, let's just say we got to the point where we could have somebody famous on the show doing an interview for 10 minutes. What I would do is have 2 or 3 fans, Knicks fans I'm saying, be part of that interview, because it's all about the fans. I'm all about opportunity, and you never know what kind of talent that you have. You know, you may get on this show here and feel like, and say, hey, I can be a broadcaster, or I can be a talking head, or something like that. So, you know, that's what this channel is all about. It's about the Knicks, but it's about improvement for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So, John, what you say? You got Knicks tickets versus Sixers at MSG in March. Hey, I definitely want to get to a game with some of you guys, and, you know, I'm gonna, you know, I'm working on how to get some group tickets from the Knicks, so that we can set up some things like that. You know what I mean? I really do. I have a packed schedule. My schedule is always really packed. I'm a business consultant. You know what I'm saying? So I have clients that I'm working with relentlessly, almost 24 hours a day, it seems like. You know, and I do a lot of social media with them. I do a lot of strategy planning with them. And I do a lot of, I also do some advocacy with some of the, sorry, I lost my face in the screen. I also do some advocacy with some of the clients that I work with, you know, with legislatively and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm really, really busy, but I definitely want to get to some games with some of you guys. And I'm gonna set up some events so that we can, you know, visit some games together and stuff like that. You know, so look out for it, because it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Yeah. I'm working out some things with either Ticketmaster or SeatGeek to be able to, you know, sell tickets on my website, stuff like that. You know, so I'm working on some things. I'm constantly working on it. Yeah, constantly working. Yeah, big moves, man. I'm constantly working on doing some things like that. You know, but when I'm doing it, I'm always doing it with New York Knicks fans in mind, and what's going to benefit the Knicks, what's going to benefit the channel. Yeah. Hey, but check this out, guys. I got to get back on the road. You know what I'm saying? I really enjoyed this show. I'm out here. This guy Joe got me popping again. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Like I said, it's going straight to the channel. I promise you that. They said this guy Joe is big balling. But listen, yeah, I got to get back on the road. You know what I'm saying? I would love to be able to stay on, but I'll be back on the road, and I should be back on Sunday after the game. I'll be back on. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we'll talk again. You know what I'm saying? And this time I'll be in New York. I don't know where I'll be broadcasting from. I won't be back in the studio until, I won't be back home until Monday. So I'll be back in the studio after the whenever we play after Monday. I'll be back in the studio. All right. But peace out tonight. It was even though I didn't have all the other stuff, it was a good stream. You know, we talked about some fun stuff, and I'll holler at you guys later, man. Peace out tonight. Be safe out there.